Here's a deck profile of one of my many anti-meta decks that I like to play. You'll see a lot of similar features in it compared to other decks that I've profiled and have online. This is a deck that I built right after I saw Wysis Atlanta results and how Gravekeepers pretty much ran over everybody because of Royal Tribute. So I figured to myself, well, the answer to Royal Tribute is having less monsters in the deck and having more ways of using your monsters and going and getting back monsters and so, or searching for monsters. So this is what inspired this deck, because I like playing anti-meta, but most of my anti-meta decks before include my Chaos Stun deck, which I already which I had topped actually, which is where I got this mat from, had a high monster count. So Royal Trip was definitely going to be a pain. So this is a deck, I call it Elemental Fissure. It's a mixture in between obviously Elemental Heroes with the engine, with Gemini Sparks and also Macrocosmo. Well, you know, typical macro decks, okay? Kind of inspired with Yados, like I've previously shown before, but this is just without the Yados basically. So here's my take. So you got the three aliases, which are just big 1900 beaters in the deck. Run over almost anything, and combo is great with the Gemini Spark. I'm just easy to search because I got so many ways to get them out. Okay. One of the ways to get them out is Stratos. You obviously don't play E-Heroes without Stratos, and a lot of times I've actually used this effect where I destroy back row instead, because I get the alias out first and I have a Gemini Spark to protect it, and then if I'm not, then I go for the Stratos to go actually pop a back row on second turn instead. I run two Cyber Dragons in the deck. I have no problem with because it's a low monster count. Sometimes I don't summon right away because I can wait. This deck can allow me to be patient because you'll see my trap lineup and my spell lineup. Cyber Dragon is just a good way to start off a duel if they're setting or if they're summoning, and you know, I'll show you the rest of the monsters that I find complement this. Two Thunder King Ryos. Now these are new additions to the deck. I always said that the second Samurai's hit, I'm going to put these in over what they were originally, and I've tried everything. I've put in DD Warriors did test the best prior, but just because Thunder King has more use right now, this has to go into the deck. One DD Survivor, which is really how my anti-meta career all got started. But I have one in here because it combos great with obviously D-Fissures and the Macrocosmos and the Banisher. What's actually really cool about this card though is that a lot of people are playing D-Prisons and Bottomless. Now, Bottomless not as much anymore, but D-Prisons for sure. This is just a surefire way to see if that's what they're holding on to, because no sane person is gonna de-prison this if it's early game. Late game, yeah, because they need to preserve life points, but not in the beginning. So it's a great card to have out. And if they got weaker monsters and they want to tribute for Caius, I mean, it's difficult when this thing is out. Just target something else. One Banisher. I've really grown to like this card. It just stops so many decks, this format. Fish, frogs, dandy, you name it. You know, so just by hitting their graveyard. Spirit Reaper, one of the two main cards that I combo with Cyber Dragon on a first or like an opening attack turn, because Cyber Dragon comes out, will most likely run over whatever their face down is, and then Spirit Reaper. And the cool thing about Reaper, because a lot of people play Rykos and I absolutely hate Rykos, is that Cyber Dragon comes out, this comes out, they're going to target this, so my Cyber Dragon stays live on the field. Cool tech in my deck is Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk's main job is actually garbage control, because sometimes this deck does draw with sparks and you don't have an alias, or it draws with an extra D-Fissure you don't need. So this is just a great way to just junk those cards and combo up with either getting out a Survivor, getting out one of the aliases, or actually even getting out another tuner, which I'll show you. One of the tuners in the deck, there's two in the deck. This is it's a Gale. It's as anti-meta, it's the best tuner for anti-meta. It's rare that I actually do synchro with this. Most of the time I'm using it to actually just hit something big, shrink it down to size, and then run over it. Occasionally I get an Armor Master, or actually with Summoner Monk I'll actually get an Arcanite Magician with it. Second big card that combos with Cyber Dragon for me, the way I play, is Mole, because no matter what they have face down, they're not stopping the Mole or anything that they have face up. Like this is getting rid of it. So if they get a synchro at first turn, God bless them, this is gonna kill it. So And then the second tuner, which is Rose Warrior, searchable, and I can get it out easily with Summoner Monk, and it combos great with Survivor. One of the win conditions is deck that no one ever expects, but when it comes out, it goes, and it's rare. I can't remember the last time I lost when I got it with Scrap Dragon. The second I get Scrap Dragon, I'm pretty positive I'm going to win the game, because I've got too many ways to protect it, and I got the Survivor engine going, so I can keep popping something every turn without wasting anything, so it's never a neg for me at all. The anti-meta parts of the spells, so obviously 3D dimensional fissures, which which is combos with everything else in the deck, okay, and stops everything else. And what's new to the deck is dualities, and this is something that I just recently got. But original build, when I first built this deck, I had what I call the perfect version before I got these cards, and that still with the dualities, the deck's so consistent, just because I can get to pick what I want. If I'm missing an anti-meta card, I'll get an anti-meta card. If I'm missing, you name it, a Gemini Spark, whatever it is, I can get it with this, which is really cool. Originally, they were Gold Sarks, and Gold Sarks, every game I would always play, I would be either getting on the E-Call or a Rhoda or a Gemini Spark. So the duality, I did say I was going to switch it out, which I now have since I have them. 2 Book of Moons. I've never been a big fan of running 3, just because I like variety. I'd rather, especially game 1s. The way I play is game 1 is just to scout out, see what you need to do. I stretch out game 1 as long as possible, even if I know I got an edge, just because I want to see what the rest of the cards they're playing are. Okay, but Book of Moon is a card I set out very often, just because not many decks I need to use it against. Triple Gemini Spark, which combo is great, obviously with the alias. No need to go into detail with that. This allows them to be aggressive with them, but also I can pitch them for Summoner Monk, which is why it's in there. The 2 Searchers, so Rhoda, E-Call. Most of the time I'm getting Stratos out. Occasionally, if I've already gotten it, I get an alias. But really, the main thing is to get the Stratos. So that's why I got 2 in there. Originally, the first version of this deck ran 2. I just found, not that it was ever dead. It was rare that it was ever dead. And if it ever was, that's what Summoner Monk is for. But I just don't see the need why I need it anymore. Now that Samurais are out, now I do need to run both MSTs. Originally they were cited for other tech in the deck, but now these are more important, so I'm going to explain those. The rest of the spells, so obviously your main ones, so Dark Hole and Monster Reborn, and just like I said before with my other decks like Dimensional Yados, Reborn is still very alive in this deck, even though it does run removal, because you never know when they get something in the grave, or they have something in the grave you just want to take out. Sometimes they pitch a Frog first turn, and then I have my setup already. I'll actually Reborn their Frog to guarantee that they can't get it back, so it's just good cleanup for me. And finally, with the traps now, we got 3D Prisons, which is again one of my signatures. I've never played a 2, I've always played a 3, so once I've gotten them, so just a great card overall. I do side out 1 or 2 the one I'm playing against Samzo, because they're a disgusting little synchro monster, doesn't really care about them too much. The 2 Psalms, so 1 warning, 1 judgment. I need to get a 2nd warning, so that's common theme throughout the rest of my decks. Just to stop everything. I do run a Mirror Force in here, 1 Macrocosmos as usual, with like the other ones. Starlight Road, which I just love playing in decks, because of this deck summons a lot. I can continuously summon whenever I want to. I don't fear Torrential, I don't fear Mirror Force, I don't fear Dark Hole. This deck does mean a Royal Oppression, unlike other builds that I have for anti-meta, just because, again, I don't rely on special summon in this deck. There's only the 2 Cyber Dragons, Summoner Monk, and a couple tuners, which I don't have to use. I can use them just for attacking with. And then the last one, which is a new addition, is now the 7 tools. It was originally Dark Bride, but now just I see that the format's phasing more into traps now, so this is obviously more important right now. Dex 41, I may go to 42 as I usually do, but it depends. I'll have to see. I have to test it out a bit more. It would be a solid morning if anything. And other changes I do is, of course, if I can get a 3rd duality for it. But this is what deck that I've been running for a while. Love the way it runs. I've actually topped every single local I've played with it, so try it out. Let me know what you think.